Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And an 8 of Swords, classic overthinker. I think right now there's something going on in your life that we've been sort of carrying with us day after day. Something that's always on our mind, always kind of taking up real estate in our heads. When we're at work perhaps, and we're just kind of thinking about that thing. We're driving and we're thinking about that thing. We're hanging out with our family, our pets, our plants, our people, and we're thinking about that thing, And sometimes this is too much. Sometimes this is preventing us from really getting anywhere with the thing, preventing us from getting any kind of resolution. See, the eight of Swords is some kind of interference. It's static, really. It's there's too much going on. There's an inability to really sit down and focus. And maybe, honestly, maybe that's what we need. We need to look at some more cards. Maybe the idea here is that we should just really carve out some time to sit down and think this thing through, come up with a solution, and be done, right? This card can very easily become rumination. And rumination sort of exacerbates the problem, and this might become a 9 of Swords. We don't want that. Okay. Right now it feels like a tangle of wires. It feels like there's just too much going on, too much thinking about this particular thing, but in the wrong context to where we're kind of like stewing on it rather than solving it. Okay. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. There, we've got a 6 of Pentacles. Okay. The Devil energy. Another Capricorn energy, the Knight of Pentacles. Both of these are Capricorn energies. Okay, it might serve you well to watch the Capricorn reading. We have the Empress. Oh, look at that. Very, very good. We've got a 9 of Wands. So I kind of feel like the 6 of Pentacles here is really about you, like clearing a space and setting down some, like making some room in your life intentionally to sit down and figure this problem out. Okay, I want to see some cards of clarity. I see the outcome that you want. I see the strength that you're going to need to get the outcome. I see the determination you have to solve this thing. I feel like you're going to have a successful outcome to it, but we have to clear the space in order to kind of like devote our attention to it in order to solve it. Here we have a little bit of the intuition with the High Priestess. The High Priestess is always trying to lead you to your Empress life, to your best life, to the most beautiful outcome you can imagine in this situation. Okay, whatever your situation might be. Now we've got the Art or Temperance card. There's a little bit of clarity. I think this is really it. This is the Queen of Swords. And finally, we have the Lust or Strength card, the Courage, okay, the Empowerment. There's a lot of major arcana energy here, isn't there? My goodness. Let's select the Mystery card, Bonus card, Confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it down right over here, and we're going to let's use Alien Simon Mork Ripley today. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay. Now, let's take a look at these majors. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana energies, and that tells me that this really is this is a situation that is like mostly outside of your control. When we get a lot of majors, it's kind of like this is something that's happening in the world, is happening in your, let's say, in your spiritual life, in your consciousness, in your reality, right? And it's important that we don't feel as if there's something we need to change about it. I kind of feel like this is something we have to figure out how to navigate through. That we can't have this attitude like I need to stop it, or I need to alter it or change it, or I need to control it. I don't think this is about control right now. I think this is about navigating through something. Okay, maybe there's a difficulty at work, at home, at school, with family, friends, in terms of your spiritual life, your financial life, whatever it might be. There are things that are happening that you can't change. Okay, so Spirit's showing you kind of how to navigate through some of this stuff. Yeah, and I feel like that's the reason for most of these major. We have a lot. I mean, half the reading, right, is major arcana. And then, of course, we have fire. We don't have any water. We've got air and air. We've got earth and earth. Okay. And let's start with the Knight of Pentacles in the background, the previous energy. Okay. I think that there was, this is the card, this is the Knight of Pentacles. It's a Capricorn energy. This is us looking at the top of the mountain, looking at the future. This is us with a vision of the future, who I am, where I am, what I'm doing down the road. And we may have a pretty particular vision of that, kind of what we want, right? In a way, sort of looking up at the Empress. The Empress is more the kind of the feeling tone of the reality that we have, you know. The Knight of Pentacles is truly looking at the 10 of Pentacles and thinking, that's my life. Those are the details. That's the color of the wallpaper. That's what's at the top of the hill here. That's the summit of the mountain. And so what we do is we extrapolate on that. We work our way backwards. We sort of reverse engineer it, and we say, okay, I know what I need to do to get to that goal, to get to my long-term goals, whatever your time frame was. This is yesterday's energy, remember. So having this idea or ideal of the future, but then in the present moment, we've got the Eight of Swords. To me, it feels like right now where we are here today is not where we were planning to be. It was not part of the vision that we had back here. And so now it creates some confusion. Now we're starting to overthink. Now we're starting to doubt ourselves. Now we're starting to perhaps, lose a little bit of hope in our path, in what we're doing. Okay, and that's a lot of overthinking, right? The way forward, of course, we see this card. This card is strength. It's going to take strength to go forward. Now, the Six of Pentacles is a card of harmony and beauty and joy. I think the difficulty for you right now is to, one, to sort of focus on the things that we can control. Sometimes I look at the Six of Pentacles and I think of like the 6 pillars of health, or the 6 pillars of a quality of life, right? Intentional eating, intentional movement, sleep, adequate sleep, stress reduction, substance management, and our interpersonal relationships. I think that's 6. And so sometimes, in order to deal with I don't even know if I want to call this confusion, but deal with this overwhelming amount of thoughts and trying to figure out the path forward, sometimes we need to focus on those basic things. You know, especially if there's nothing in this situation we can control. We can't make other people do something differently. We can't make the universe function a different way. Okay? This might be a situation now that if we focus on these basic things, these 6 pillars of health or the quality of life, right? If we focus on those, we make room for those, perhaps we'll find that our thoughts are clearing a little bit. Okay? Maybe we will find more peace and calm internally, and we'll be able to have this conversation with ourselves and reach a conclusion, find a solution to this issue. Again, I think it's something we just have to figure out how to navigate through. We can't change the landscape right now. We can't change the way the road looks. But I feel that there's kind of a dissatisfaction that where we are right now is not exactly what we envisioned. But maybe the Six of Pentacles is also saying, look, this is a temporary place that you're in now anyway. This is part of the path. This is not a permanent place. Okay. The Six of Pentacles is a card of material success. So I think that there is the suggestion here that you're doing things just fine, that you are on the right track, that things are happening, you are gaining ground on this journey, if this is a career thing, fitness, finances, spiritual, if it's relationships, maybe, whatever it is, that you are gaining ground. But I wonder why there's no water energy. It could be that I'm here and I just don't believe that this isn't where I intended to be. Yeah, but if we look around, maybe we can see that, hey, this wasn't part of the plan that I knew about. This wasn't part of my GPS MapQuest directions, but it's a good place to be. Okay, so I think that we're having a difficult time objectively looking at where we are in life because it's not where we wanted to be, it's not where we thought we would be. So I want to know, where's that water energy? Okay, where is the love, the joy? Where's the happiness? Where's the pleasure of being in the Six of Pentacles? Because I feel like things are working pretty well right now. It's not what we anticipate. It's not what we thought. I think there are challenges ahead, of course. But I think we need to we try to recognize the blessings that we do have with this Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is kind of like, this is objectively positive stuff. It's objectively saying, like, your bank account's going up or your health is improving. Like, there's this state of harmony right now. But the problem is we're not feeling it. So we may be really even asking ourselves, why am I not feeling it? Things are okay, but why don't I feel all of that love and beauty and pleasure and all of the grace of that Empress? See, the Empress is still up here as something we're wishing for. Okay. And of course you have this very ambitious devil energy beneath the surface. And the devil just wants to climb the mountain. The devil is almost saying, like, nothing's good enough. Let's climb the mountain more. Nothing is good enough. Let's keep going. And that brings up the idea with the Knight of Pentacles here that you can't see the summit of the mountain. We think we see up there, we think we see a peak. Oh, that's the summit. We get there, and then we look, and there's more peaks behind it. And so the devil energy is saying, let's keep going. This is nothing. This is small potatoes. This is worthless. I'm nothing if I'm not pushing further up the mountain, right? So I almost wonder if there's too much striving right now. If there's too much trying to push the river a little bit. Yeah, instead of just sort of taking this as a win, observing the success that you have. Maybe you feel like the way is blocked a little bit, or there have been obstacles put in your path that we have to figure out, so it's prevented the goat from just kind of cruising right up the mountain there. There's some detours, there's some roadblocks or speed bumps ahead. Okay. But the absence of water, I think, is a thing here. And with the devil energy, you put the goat in front of any mountain, it's going to climb the mountain. You put the ladder up in front of the building, going to climb the ladder. What if it's not the right mountain? What if it's not the right what if the ladder's not up against the right building, right? I think Joseph Campbell said that. So, are we being led by, what are we being motivated by? Are we being led by this goat that just doesn't really care what the mountain is, just only feels good when it's climbing? Doesn't feel good when it has to stop and rest or, just kind of hang out and be there with nature. I bet as soon as you wake up in the morning, you're automatically in work mode. And I don't know if this is career or your job or your finances, but I mean work. Like, we're already dealing with the stress. The wheels are already turning. What do I got to do today? Okay, I got to leave the house at this time. I got to pick up the kids. I got these errands to run. I got to be at work at this time. Or, I feel like, and we're checking the phone, right? That's another thing. I think as soon as we wake up, we're already in go mode, right? Rather than just being present, especially first thing in the morning. When our consciousness is transitioning from sleeping to waking, that's a very beautiful time. And we should have it filled with more water here, right? So Spirit wants you to connect with your dreams more. Spirit wants you to use your sleeping hours to communicate with the unconscious. And when you first wake up in the morning, don't go automatically toward the phone or toward any kind of artificial light source, unless it's this YouTube channel, then it's okay. No, it's in all seriousness. Leave the lights off. And if you have to wake up 5 minutes before you usually do, that's okay. But just to be in the dimness, I don't know what time you wake up, but I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. And I wake up, I get a glass of hot water, I sit in front of the window, I look outside. That's what I do. Eventually the phone turns on and I start checking emails. I get started for my day, to enjoy that first 10, 15, or 20 minutes of the morning when you first wake up. It doesn't matter what time you wake up. Maybe you're on the night shift. Maybe you wake up in the middle of the day. I don't know. I'm jealous if you do. I don't know what it's like to sleep in anymore. But I think it's important that we try to find that joy. And I think that's what the Empress really is saying here, that we want that kind of almost a sensual experience in life, right? You are manifesting a very stable and harmonious financial or physical world reality. But if you're not enjoying it, I don't think that you will be resilient enough to handle the pressure cookers that are out there. Okay, so I think the Empress is really here to say, look, you should incorporate some practices that are going to help you to fuel. It's okay you got this ambition. It's okay that your goat just wants to climb the mountain. Maybe this is the idea, Libra, of balance, because we're trying to achieve this best life. And this is always up here as the ideal. Oh, one day I'll get to the top of that mountain and there shall be my best life, But we're going this way and we're creating a lot of great, wonderful successes, a lot of wins. I think every day is like a victory. Every day is a successful day. But then it's just kind of like, where's the love? Where's the joy? Where's the connection? Where's the community? Where is a single bit of water energy here? Yeah. Because the Empress might be trying to say, like, look, this is here now. This is here now. This is a process of creation. The Empress, I always say this is like, this is your paradise. This is your best life. This is the good life. This is Big Rock, Candy Mountain, This is some kind of a utopia that's out there for me to find but never truly attain. But in fact, this can be our life right now. This is a dynamic energy. This is a world that is in a constant state of creation. This reminds us, this card. Let's think of nature, right? Nature is not just bang, nature's created, that's it. Nature is a static thing, static objective reality in the world. No, it's always changing. Things are dying, things are growing. Things are changing constantly in nature. It's constantly in this state of becoming. Okay. And so we don't wait until the finished product is completed before we go and enjoy it. It's not that kind of a thing. Building our best life, achieving our best life, or manifesting our best life. Our Big Rock, Candy Mountain, our paradise, that sort of thing. It's not a production, It's not that we put in all these grueling and painful and miserable hours of work, and then one day I've got this object that I've created, and now finally I can enjoy it. So I wonder if you're someone who right now in your life is saying, I just got to push through all this grueling, difficult, almost torturous work, and I'll finally get the joy at the end. One day I'll get up here. One day I'll get to the top and I'll feel good. I'll feel healthy. I'll heal. I'll be restored. I'll feel like I've achieved something. I'll feel connection and community and love and gratitude. Maybe we need to start cultivating that stuff now. And I think the first step toward cultivating that is focusing on intentional eating, intentional sleeping, intentional movement, stress reduction, substance management, and our interpersonal relationships. If we focus on those things and doing positive work in those areas, we can't help but be filled with love and gratitude. We got to be kind to ourselves. We got to be kind to others. We don't always have to be nice. We got to be kind. Okay. Spirit's saying that you have a very unique taste in music, but you don't listen to music right now. Why not? Go listen to it. Be weird. Listen to all that weird stuff that you listen to. Do it and play it loud, respectfully. Nobody likes somebody that's forcing their music on other people. But listen to it proudly. Yeah. I think the Eight of Swords is also a card of self-sabotage, right? There's a fear here. I think there's a fear almost of acknowledging the success and allowing yourself to feel good about it. Because maybe we feel like it's going to be taken away. Maybe we are afraid that as soon as I embrace this and I start feeling like a Six of Cups around this, right? Because this is a vessel that you've created, but we got to fill it with water, right? This is like a round table that we've built. Well, now we got to put food on the table. We've got to get our people here to enjoy it. It almost feels like as soon as I embrace the love and the joy and I'm proud of what I've accomplished, it's going to be taken away. Or we feel that being happy or being joyful or being delighted is going to somehow slow the goat down. The goat's saying, no, don't have any time for joy. Got to keep climbing the mountain because that's at the top of the mountain. The point is, there is no top of the mountain. Once you get to the top, you look, there's just more mountain. It's mountains all the way down. It's a mountain range, right? The so-called summit of the mountain only exists to justify the journey. If you're not allowing yourself to enjoy the ride, you're not going to enjoy it later on. There is no state where you can say, I'm happy now. Is it a dollar amount? Right? Is it a certain level of fitness before I can start feeling good and being happy and loving and having gratitude and things like this, right? I think Spirit's saying something about a mother energy or a maternal force that had some kind of a circulation thing, like your mom. Her hands were always cold, something like this. There was a circulation problem. I don't know if she's passed, but I feel like that sort of, like you remember her always having cold hands. Maybe you inherited that kind of thing, like the kind of the cold hands from the mother energy. Let's talk about the 9 anyway. Let's talk about the 9 of Wands. This is strength and resilience. This is our ability to face the challenges in front of us. This is our ability to be strong and firm, but also flexible. There are things happening out in the world that you can't control, like I said. So what do? Do we stay so firm and rigid that we go up against the universe and guess what? We're going to snap. It's like a twig we're going to break. We have to be flexible and we have to be very resilient. We have to find a way to go through the pressure cookers of life and be pliable. They say when you're in, when you're in any kind of a collision or a car accident or something, like it's best to just kind of go limp and that way, like you're not offering any resistance to the force that's going on there. I remember learning about this in EMT school. I was an EMT for a brief period of time. And they said that's why drunk drivers are never usually injured in a car crash because they're just so almost lethargic, right? That their limbs just get tossed around. They're offering no resistance to the forces around them. And so they're not rigidly resisting, like thinking they can they can be stronger than the force of the car and the momentum and stuff. because that's going to snap. That's going to break you. You can break the bones, right? But having that flexibility is allowing you to get banged around in life and come out okay. Some bumps and bruises, but generally intact, okay? And so in order to be that kind of, in order to have that kind of resilience, we need to have, I think, a little bit of this water energy, a little bit of the flexibility. Flow like water, right, through these challenges. Not trying to burn through it like fire, because these challenges are bigger than you. The forces, especially since we see the major arcana, right? The forces of the universe, the forces outside of your control, are stronger than you. You can't, push the river. You can't push the car out of the way. You know what I mean? We've got to get out of the way. We've got to figure out how to flow through some of these things. Okay. So this is our ability to bounce back from these challenges. Not being so stubborn or so maybe overly confident that we think we can overpower the challenges or prevent them from, or stop them. We don't have that kind of control over life. And if we feel like we do, we're in for a world of hurt, right? So we need the resilience, but we need the connection with our sort of psychic center. You need a connection with your intuition, which in fact you have. General energy is your intuition. Now let's talk about this path over here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. Also leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Yeah. Your general energy is the High Priestess. And I think that the High Priestess, especially in this case, is trying to drag you through the pressure cooker. Trying to drag you to the blacksmith's anvil. And it may feel like that's all life is. One pressure cooker after another. One mountain climb after another. Okay? And you're someone who believes and acknowledges the power of spirit. You acknowledge the divine in yourself and in your life. And you accept signs and symbols and synchronicities. I feel like you follow them, you witness them, you believe in the power of presence, and I think that you allow yourself to be guided by spirit. Okay, sometimes we do that, and we feel like spirit is dragging us through the mud, through the pressure cooker, through the briar patch, and we think, I hate this. Okay. Sometimes we get dragged through the mud, and spirit just wants us to learn how to appreciate the mud a little bit. Wants us to realize that there is an underlying joy to life that we're not always so tuned into. This is a card that's an energy. A force in your life, a divine energy that's trying to lead you to your Empress life. Okay, but it's trying to make you realize that, hey, look, dragging you through the briar patch, guess what? Your best life's here too. Dragging you through the mud, hey, guess what? This is your best life too. Dragging you into the pressure cooker, hey, guess what? This is your best life too. And so sometimes I feel like we get dragged through all these things by life because Spirit's trying to tell you, like, hey, this is Big Rock Candy Mountain. We're here right now living it. This is part of it. Yeah. I mean, we think of Big Rock Candy Mountain, we think it's just like, it's like Candyland. Everything is beautiful. Everything is perfect. Nothing can ever go wrong. But that's not exactly an accurate description of our best life, because our best life is full of challenges. There will always be challenges. Okay. I think the challenge you're facing right now, it's going to have a very positive outcome if you can be resilient and flexible, and if you can bounce back from the challenges quickly without too much resistance, or even without too much frustration, right? And just sort of, and in this case, I think allow Spirit to carry you through some of these things. Okay, but also working on those things that you can pay attention to, as we said, with those are 6 pillars of health, or the 6 pillars of our quality of life. Yeah. In the environment, in your relationships, you've got the pressure cooker. I think you're realizing that, for one thing, every relationship is an alchemical relationship. This is talking about the people that you surround yourself with. How are they molding you and shaping you? Are we surrounded by a bunch of negative Nellies? Right? Are we surrounded by people who are hard workers, but also are filled with gratitude, have a peaceful sort of aura about them? I think you're somebody that can perceive auras. So you do it. Use that energy. Use that ability. And ask yourself, what kind of people do I surround myself with? When I'm around my people, how does it feel? How does my aura absorb that energy of theirs? And do I like what's happening there? Okay, that's one thing. I think this card's also talking about just the basic challenges of life. We go out into life, we get hammered. We're on the blacksmith's anvil. Okay, and Spirit keeps dragging us into the forge, into the smithy, right? And it keeps dragging us onto the anvil, and then down comes the hammer again. And if we try to fight against the hammer, if we hold ourselves really, really tight, the hammer's going to hurt. But if we allow it to happen the best we can, we're going to be molded and shaped by our experiences of life. And we're going to become somebody who is even more resilient and even stronger than we were before. We have to be strong first to go into the pressure cooker. The pressure cooker is going to make us even stronger if we, if we sort of surrender to it in a way. Maybe the mystery card will be the Hanged Man. We don't want life to be all challenges, though, because even in the most intense foundries in the blacksmith shop, right? I don't know exactly what they're called, but even in the most intense blacksmith shops, you're in the fire, you get banged around. Guess what? You get plunged into cold water too, and that's the part we're missing now, because you know what happens to a sword. Let's say they're trying to make a sword. You put it in the fire, you bang it around. You put it in the fire, you bang it around. You put it in the fire, you bang it around. It's going to eventually just be so thin and so stretched out and so worn out that it's going to be a very terrible sword. It's going to shatter like a piece of glass. It needs the cold water because that's the recovery. It's like you go to the gym every day, boom, boom, boom. Every day is leg day, and it's just like you got to give the legs a rest, you know? Sometimes we got to give the goat a rest to have that healing energy. Okay, because that's where the growth really takes place. When you become stronger, it's on your day off. It's not while you're in the gym. When you're in the gym, you're becoming weaker. And if you're in the gym too much, you're making yourself weaker. You've got to take that self-care. You got to do the intentional eating, intentional sleeping, intentional movement, but you got to have the rest and recovery. And that applies across the board. It's not just to the gym. It's everywhere. It's life in general, right? We have to have those moments where we take ourselves out of the fire and we enjoy the right kind of people. But if you have time off, right, and you've given yourself space to do that, but the people around you, the circumstance, the environment you're in is not like cool water, but more fire, right? Or you're surrounding yourself with a bunch of negative Nellies. That's not helping you. That might as well be in the fire. So maybe, I don't know, this is somebody who is going to just devote themselves to work and work 24 hours a day because they don't want to go home because there's a bunch of negative energy at home. And they feel like if I'm going to be in the fire anyway, might as well be something productive and go to work. Okay? I don't know if that's your situation, but the Temperance card wants us to ask, why don't we have that cool water? Why aren't we plunging ourselves into the cool water to restore and to recuperate and to rebuild that strength? And do we have an environment that is cool water somewhere? And by that I mean the Six of Cups, right? Family, community, friends, your pets, your plants, your people. Okay. Now we need the objectivity of the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is up here in the sky. up here in the air, right? In the realm of thought, which is where we started with the Eight of Swords, but has risen up a little bit. And I'm looking around for the water, and we're sort of like saying, where the heck is that water? So we're getting a bird's eye view. We're taking a step back, and we're looking not just at what's right here in front of me, but we're looking at the bigger picture and thinking, mountain, 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 fire, fire, climb, 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 negative energy, fire, climbing, blacksmith. Like, okay, where's the water here? Do we have to schedule it in? Do we have to change some things in our environment? Do we have to find different people, different places, different things, different habits, these 6 pillars of health, right? What do we have to do? So we're getting that honest bird's eye view, that honest assessment to see, okay, where's that dang water at? And then we've got, of course, the strength card at the end. This is real strength. This is a card called strength, but so is this. This is your spiritual strength. This is the strength that knows how to be strong, knows that strength that isn't always about how ferociously you can climb a mountain. Strength is your ability to let go of the climb and just enjoy your people, be with your friends, your family, and love, and feel good. And then go back and kick some butt, in a couple days or tomorrow or whatever. But this is our ability to have ambition, but to be able to restrain it, to be able to kind of turn it on and off as we need to. Yeah. To be able to have these, healthy desires that keep us strong, that nourish us. The ability to turn off the overthinking mind, turn off the devil energy, and just be with our people and enjoy our life. Or just to, when you're with your pets, you're with your pets. When you're with your family, you're with your family. We're not stressed out about all the other stuff. Yeah. And so both of these cards talk about your desires, right? This is kind of about us being able to control our desires, to partake of them when they're healthy. To healthy desires, the gratification of healthy desires will make us stronger. The unmitigated pursuit of pleasure is going to weaken us. And maybe that's kind of the risk. That's what we're worried about, maybe. Well, I'm worried about if I let the water energy in, it's going to flood the whole place. So I keep all the water energy out. It's like I don't let myself eat any ice cream at all, because once I do, it opens up the floodgate, and there goes my discipline, there goes my hard work, right? But I think we need to see that and realize, okay, well, I need to be in control, and I need to have the right things. I'm not telling you to eat ice cream, although ice cream's delicious, but to have that water energy and to be able to enjoy it and plunge yourself in to that cool water when you need to, knowing that you have the self-control and the strength to get back to the fire and continue on your path. Okay. Let's look at the mystery card. I want water, obviously. That's it. Somehow, somewhere, water. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. An Ace of Wands. God, darn it. Still not. What's up, Libra? What's up with the water? I think the message can't be more clear. That we need to. You have such an intense focus right now that this is your attention, your focus. This is your vision. This is like you got your eyes glued to a spot on the wall, and no matter what happens, you're not moving your eyes from that spot on the wall. That's a very powerful energy you have. It's not sustainable unless we bring in some of the nourishment, and that's what the high priestess is trying to tell you. The spirit is speaking now. You need to hear it. You need the water energy. You need that empress energy. You need to restore and heal. Sometimes it's okay for you to break your concentration, to take care of yourself, to heal, to restore, to rest, to focus on the pillars of health, as we talked about, so that you can continue climbing this endless range of mountains in your life. Okay? And this is your ability now to plunge yourself into the fire, or into the water, into the cool water. But then know that you're going to go right back in the fire too, and that's okay. You have that ability, right? But we need to We need to be able to pull our eyes, our thoughts even, our thoughts. We got that Eight of Swords. Pull our thoughts away from the problem and focus on the 6 pillars of health. The problem will be there. The mountain will be there in a few minutes or tomorrow. Okay? So this is kind of, this is a little bit of a stubborn energy. I really wish we would have some water energy here. We're going to do an extended reading. Maybe we'll get some water cards there. We're going to do a hexagram from the I Ching. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra, usually on Wednesdays and Saturdays. This is a bonus reading. I feel like you needed, I don't know, there was a message coming through for you. I feel like you need to hear it. Do with it what you will, I guess. Right? But be sure to watch both of your regular readings. If you want to watch the extended readings on the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com, or you can find me on Patreon. Sign up over there. Also, sub my wife's channel. She does Ula tea leaf readings. Check her out also. If you haven't subbed to this channel, please do. The readings are free. Leave a comment and let me know how you're doing. Let me know where the water energy is for you. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.